stand by for action.
Thanks for joining me. My name is Dave Milner. I am the Unpleasant Blind Guy, and I want to welcome you to part one of this episode of the Unpleasant Blind Guy on EDL Radio. Now remember, if you want to contact me with comments, questions, show suggestions, Awesome American suggestions, I'm available at UBG Contact on Twitter, or I can also be found as Dave Milner or Agador, that's Aggedor, on Mublet, the Tea Party Community, Spreely, Minds, MeWe, or Gab. Now let's begin.
I'm standing on a rooftop looking out over London. Off to my left, far away in the distance, I can see just that faint, red, angry snap of anti-aircraft bursts against this steel blue sky. About 5 minutes ago, the guns in the immediate vicinity were working. I was up here earlier this afternoon and looking out over these housetops, looking all the way to the dome of St. Paul's. I saw many flags flying from staffs. No one ordered these people to put out the flags. They simply feel like flying the Union Jack above their roofs. No one told them to do it, and no flag up there was white.
Never in the field of human conflict was so much owed by so many to so few. I hope, indeed I pray, that we shall not be found unworthy of our victory if after toil and tribulation it is granted to us. For the rest, we have to gain the victory. That is our task. Let us therefore brace ourselves to our duty, and so bear ourselves that if the British Empire and its commonwealths last for 1,000 years, men will still say, this was their finest hour.
We shall not fail or falter, we shall not weaken or tire. Neither the sudden shock of battle nor the long-drawn trials of vigilance and exertion will wear us down. Give us the tools, and we will finish the job.
We shall go on to the end. We shall fight with growing confidence and growing strength. We shall defend our island, whatever the cost may be. We shall fight in the fields and in the streets. We shall fight in the hills. We shall never surrender.
I'm out on my own, walking the streets, and look at the things that I meet. I feel like I want to go home. What do I feel? What do I know? But I still believe. I still believe through the shame and through the grief, through the heartache, through the tears, through the waiting, through the years. For people like us, in places like this, we need all the hope that we can get. Oh, I still believe.
Well, there you go, people like us. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is the English Defence League radio show, broadcasting live on blogtalkradio.com. The English Defence League radio show, the truth and the voice of the EDL. Tonight, a banner of the show is EDL Radio, Iran, Let the Country Go, with our very special guest, Carmel Melamed. We'll say welcome to the English Defence League radio show with your host, that's me, Jeff Spider Mitchell, and my wingman for this evening is Dave Agador Milner. Tonight we welcome independent journalist Carmel Melamed back to our show. We'll be discussing the situation in Iran with the help of Mr. Melamed's unique overview, which cannot be found in the fake stream media. There will be other coverage and commentary as well. Truth is not always pleasant, but it is the medicine to cure our society's ills. No surrender, ever. All that is necessary for evil to prevail is that good men do nothing. That was by the late great Edmund Burke. Also, those who make peaceful revolution impossible will make violent revolution inevitable. And that was by the late great President John F. Kennedy. And without further ado, let me... so I have a few issues tonight with my computer, unfortunately. Something that's... it does happen, as most of you know. But I've got a slight issue, so... and I might have to maybe just put my computer to sleep for a little while and then come back in. But just to let you know. But, you know, I've got my wingman, Dave. He's up there. He's ready to go, aren't you, Dave? And good evening, Dave, to you in the United States. Isn't it Vermont? Yeah, Vermont. My goodness me, it's been cold over here today, Dave. I don't miss like over in the United States where you are, brother. But God bless you, mate. And good evening.
Good evening to you too, Jeff, and God bless you as well for many reasons. And good evening to everybody in the UK, and hello to everybody in the United States, and everybody around the world, and of course off Earth. Yes, we do have a big show today. Carmel Melamed is someone who has very good contacts in Iran and many contacts in the Iranian community, not only in Iran but in other places, including the United States. And he's going to be by to share some of his perspective with us here. He's also been on other talk shows, obviously, because of all of this stuff that has been going on, including Fox News. So this is a man whose guest appearance we appreciate here very much, and he was here
I
before.
I didn't know that Carmel had been on the Fox. Dave. Sorry, Dave. I don't know. Sorry, mate. Go on, buddy. Go on.
But the fact is that usually we don't get the big guests before others do, but this time we did. Last year, certainly we did. And for anybody out there that might be running a podcast and might want a perspective on what's going on the ground in Iran, you may want to give careful listen to this show and share it out too, because this is going to be where you might get some of the skinny that you will not get, not even on Fox News, really, certainly not on MSLSD or the Clinton News Network or in the UK, the Beeb or ITV or anything of that nature. So we're looking forward to having him on, and hoping that you guys will enjoy the program. And of course, we will have some other commentary and things of that nature once that is over. So Jeff, just to let you know, also, yes, you're saying it's cold in the UK. Well, over here in Vermont, in the United States, we've got a bit of a winter wonderland thing going on. And it's got a little bit of a snowfall, a couple of inches, and it was just enough to make everything really, really pretty around here. Very nice for January when we really did need the snow. So nice wintry day here in the States. And just before Carmel comes on, of course, you guys all know that it's been It's been a nice day for the circus down in Washington, D.C. I was listening to
some of that, Dave.
I was listening to some of Pastor Shannon Wright's commentary on The Right Way with Shannon and Mike, which appears on SHR Media, and you can also find that on Spreaker. She was talking about how Nancy Pelosi and all of her little minions walked the impeachment articles over to the Senate in this dumb little procession.
They look like a bunch of Smurfs, Dave. I was waiting for the Smurf tune to go in the background of it. Honestly, Dave, I thought it was the Smurfs. Go on, Dave.
Okay, no, Jeff, you just gave a good idea to somebody out there who matches music to videos. Yeah, guys, get to work on that, because that sounds good. I haven't seen the procession itself, but it just seemed to me to be exactly the sort of showmanship that Pelosi likes. And can you believe this, Jeff? They wrote their stupid impeachment articles not on paper, but on parchment. So they actually spent more money doing that. Oh my God! Just the amount of
no wonder Nancy spent so much time holding on to the impeachment thing, because she needed to get all the pens sorted out for her little Smurf tribe. That's the reason why it was the hold up. Nothing to do with just sitting on it and trying to sweat things out a bit. It was because she was waiting for her pens to come along so she could give it to the Smurfs. The Smurf tribe. Let's call them what now? The Smurf tribe, Dave.
Oh yeah. She was handing out as far as I read about this stuff, which I've said to everybody before, it's all crap. So I'm not paying a lot of attention to it, but I'm paying enough of attention to it to get the highlights. And yeah, she's passing out pens that she used to sign the articles as souvenirs and things like that to her little serfs out there. And trust me, guys, if you're on the left out there and you think that Pelosi is the second coming, you are a serf. And if you haven't realized that by now, you will. Trust me on that.
There's no hope for them, Dave. If they haven't known that by now, there's no hope. You're doomed. If you think that Nancy Pelosi is the next coming, you're doomed. You're done. You're finished. Am I right, Dave?
Well, Jeff, just look at J.K. Rowling over there in the UK. All she did was, I think, put out a tweet supporting a woman, and now we haven't played this from Paul Watson, and I don't have it in studio, but we might play this in the future just for fun. Now she's in deep doo-doo with all the big-time lefties. And remember, it wasn't that long ago that she was this big, huge hero with them, with her Harry Potter character and Dumbledore being gay and all this other kind of nonsense. She was a big, huge lefty hero over there, of course, supporting mass migration into the UK and all of that, and of course not putting up any of the migrants in her more than one
castle
mansion.
Or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, one of them with 18 spare rooms, Jeff. Okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't any of that. Okay,
it just makes you sick. They give it all the large, but they talk about you need to let people in. Well, you've got how many rooms? You say she's got 18. Then if she's all for that, then she should give most of those rooms to those people who's coming in from overseas. If she's that feels so strong, but it's all lies and misconception with these stars, isn't it, Dave? None of them have offered them anything.
That's right, Jeff.
It's totally, ladies and gentlemen, these are fakesters. Let's call it, and up there they are, fakesters, the lot of them. Oh, my fan's making a weird noise. I don't know whether my computer's about to go pop, but I might have to just send it to sleep for a little while because it's making extreme. I don't know if you can hear it, Dave, but it's making some really strange noises. But yeah, I mean, fakesters. Let's call them what they are, Dave.
Well, the point that I was trying to make, though, was that even someone that high up in the lefty hierarchy, just for one tweet, and now she's persona non grata. So this is for the Americans and the people in the UK who are on the left that think that Nancy Pelosi is it, and so is Hillary Clinton, and whoever the heck is going to wind up in charge of the Labor Party over there. Guaranteed, guys, that they'll come for you eventually.
Yeah, as I say, it's all fake, and that's why I used. I know you used the word fake news, but these are fake people. Period. I mean, and it's embarrassing because how many people do we know, ladies and gentlemen out there, of these lefties who's actually put some of these people that's coming over from overseas up? They say we'll do this, we'll do that. None of them do. It's just for show. It's just I've got a bigger heart than you sort of thing. No, it's not. No, none of them do it. It's just about themselves. They're selfish. They don't really care. They just want to make a bit of a noise to say that look, I've got a bigger heart than you. I would do this, but none of them ever do. No, it's all about show, and it always has been, and most of you will know that. But yeah, I say we've got a great show this evening with Mr. Carmel Element, and we look forward to his commentary on tonight about what's been going on in Iran. As I say, it's there's lots of things that's going on, more so than what we hear. See, when things are going on, our mainstream media go quiet. They go quiet. They don't want to talk about it. They don't want to talk about it. They just switch off from it. Or there's nothing here. Move along. But we know a lot's going on. We know because we heard Mr. Malavid talking about it. This is what's going on. So,
that's true.
Dave,
Now, I'm seeing a caller in here. Would you like me to see who this is?
Yes, please, Dave. As I say, I've had to put my computer to sleep.
Okay,
she's rather unwell. A bit like me, Dave.
All right, caller. Welcome to the English Defense League radio show with your host, Jeff Spider Mitchell. Can you please identify yourself?
Hi, this is Carmel Melamed.
Carmel.
Hey, Carmel.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show, brother. Hope you're well.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's our honour and privilege to have you here. There's been a lot that's been going on in Iran, hasn't there, lately? The last time we spoke to you, so many things have happened. But as I we just like to hear what you've got to say about what's. Are we seeing the end of the? This is the way I feel, Carmel. Are we seeing the last, the regime fading or failing, should I say? Would you say that we are seeing the embers of that the people are rising up now and have had enough of what's going on? They want to be free, to be what they used to be, enjoy their freedom. I don't know, Carmel, you probably got a different perspective than me, but of course we'd love to hear what you've got to say, what's been going on.
I wouldn't say it is the beginning of the end. It is the end of the regime now. I would say that it is perhaps the beginning of what might be an earthquake for the regime. Wow. You have to take into mind this is a brutal, violent, totalitarian regime. I would compare it to North Korea, the old former Soviet Union. They will not go quietly. The Ayatollahs will not go easily. But what you are seeing is massive protests across the board from different sectors, different ages, different tribal groups, different ethnic groups, in all of the major cities and all of the provinces and all of the villages. It is definitely an earthquake. Will the regime go quietly? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You have to look at this regime from a...
The way you put
you
it
have to look at this regime from a historical perspective. It is run by the clerics, the religious, radical Islamic clerics. They have been trying for 400 years to gain power and rule Iran for 400 years. That opportunity was handed to them finally in 1979 after 400 years of trying to grasp control of that country. And after 400 years, they got control, and in 40 years, they've been ruling with an iron fist, and they're not about to give up that easily.
No, but you've got some very, I mean, the thing about with Iran, as I say, you've got a proud Persian people, haven't you? You know, the Persians have always been known to be proud of who they are, and then they're fed up with the way that they're being treated. They're seeing absolutely inhuman things happening, which, say, 40, 50 years, that never happened. It was very westernised back then before the Shah fell, should I say, and the Islamic regime took a foothold. You had a great way of life, didn't you, Carmel, back in Iran, or I call it the old Persia, because it is the old Persia, isn't it, brother?
Yeah, they are historically Persians. They do not see themselves as any other group. Those that have a lot of pride, national pride, trace back their roots to Cyrus the Great from the Bible. They say we are descendants of Cyrus. He was the one that bestowed the first, ruler, the first international ruler that bestowed human rights and equality and tolerance to the world. So the people for sure see themselves in that perspective and with that nostalgia. Unfortunately, the regime doesn't. The regime sees themselves and the country through that radical Islamic Shiite dogma.
Exactly, and that is its downfall. As you said, what we're seeing is, or what we're experiencing or feeling, is an earthquake. It's just an amazing state. But the sad thing about it, Carmel, was also we did hear there was an uprising just a little while ago, and a lot of you know this yourself. Over 1,500 good people who stood up against this regime lost their lives. There wasn't allowed. People weren't allowed to go to the funerals. They banned it, didn't they? Am I right, Carmel? That's the reason why we didn't hear nothing, because they was just quickly getting rid of the bodies. That was it. No funerals, no nothing. This is what I've heard, and maybe you can clarify that more so.
1,500 was the number that was officially given by Reuters. But folks on the ground in Iran, the protesters, their families, think that the numbers are much higher. They haven't been able, the outside, the Western world hasn't been able to confirm, beyond 1,500. Which 1,500 is horrendous in its own, but they think the numbers are much higher, and the regime has arrested thousands. Many of the bodies haven't been returned. Many of the bodies have, quote unquote, disappeared. Since November, a lot of the bodies have washed up in riverbeds and waterways randomly, and people know that these folks were executed and their bodies were dumped by the regime. The regime also is holding and has been holding a lot of the executed prisoners, protesters' bodies, not releasing them unless the families pay for the bullets that were used to execute those, protesters.
Can you say that again, just for our listeners, to let the listeners know how
the Iranian regime
this regime is? What are they doing to the people?
The Iranian regime is extorting money from the families of those protesters that the regime executed by charging them for the bullets that the regime used to execute those protesters. In essence, they're saying, if you want your loved one's body back, you must pay for the bullet that we used to end their life. They're adding insult to injury to the lives of the families. And this is not a new trend. This is not a new phenomenon. This has been going on since the early 80s. One of my extended family members were executed by the regime in 1980. And when
we was on the last show, we did speak about that. It was your father's uncle or something or other, wasn't it?
Exactly. My father's relative, he had to go and get the body, and when he came to get the body, they charged him for the bullet that they used to execute that young man. Goodness. So this is a long, gruesome tradition from the regime.
And that is it for this time. Next time, part 2. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for listening, and may your God go with you. Goodbye. The Unpleasant Blind Guy is copyright 2020. Anno Domini. Now for Dave's Canes. Extras that help you navigate the new media world.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
From a public locker inside a dilapidated Long Island rail station comes a show designed to piss off liberals using truth, facts, and ridicule. The Lid Radio Show, featuring the conservative voice from the People's Republic of New York, the Lid himself, Jeff Dunitz. Tune in every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific on the SHR Media Network. Go to shrmedia.com. At Lid Radio, we fight for the truth, justice, and a good kosher T-bone. If you don't listen, Hillary Clinton might sneak into your bedroom in her housecoat late at night and blame you for her election loss. It's the Lid Radio Show with Jeff Dunitz.
This is Shannon Wright of The Right Way with Shannon and Mike in the AM. Mike's not here, so I gotta talk fast. You gotta join us. Fall season. Getting ready to start up with a whole bunch of new stuff. News and food and politics and sports and entertainment and a whole bunch of stuff. But wait, Mike's coming. I gotta go. Remember, Shannon and Mike in the AM on SHR Media, Monday through Thursday, 7 to 9 a.m. Make sure you tune in.
Featuring right thinking from a left brain and doing the job the American maggots won't. BZ is fundamentally changing America, one diaper at a time. Just when safety pin manufacturers are running out of metal for the diapers of the leftists, where the speech is free, but the drinks are not. The Bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon can be heard every Tuesday and Thursday night, commencing at 11 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Pacific, where pushback is a requisite art form in and of itself. Let your ossicles be truly liberated when you listen to the Bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon, only on SHR Media Network. No ferrets were harmed in the making of this ad.
Join me, Jack Alexander, for the Jack Alexander Experiment podcast, as I take a unique outsider's look at the issues affecting the USA. I fearlessly take on the issues that everyone else is too scared to touch. The Jack Alexander Experiment podcast is available wherever good podcasts can be found, like Spreaker, iHeartRadio, and Google Podcast. The Jack Alexander Experiment because it's not a matter of left versus right, it's a matter of right versus wrong.
It's your business diva here, Melanie Collette. I am inviting you to a front row seat as I discuss some of the most intriguing details of wealth and finance with today's movers and shakers in the world of business. Listen in and discover financial truths on a global, domestic, and household scale. Uncover topics that will impact your wallet today and in the future. Money Talk with Melanie airs Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. East, 2 p.m. West, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Talk Radio. You can't afford to miss it.
Featuring the effervescent contrarian Sackheads Clint, plus the unrestrained bulbosity of BZ, the Sackheads Against Tyranny is a real chat show. Doubling your late-night conservative talk show pleasure with double the hosts, you can listen every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern. Please note, some contents may have settled during shipping. Member FDIC, batteries not included, warranty void in Montenegro.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.